Good Sunday afternoon, Facebook and YouTube. How you doing? I am Kendrick, the sports guy, and you know what time it is. It is time for our Sunday sports chat. Every Sunday, we come to you live at 4 o'clock p.m., giving you our takes on the latest happenings in the sports world. Again, I am Kendrick, the sports guy with TFG Sports Media, as well as Kendrick Sports Hustle. That's SporTZ, Hope everyone is having a great weekend. I know it is Sunday. Everybody's probably getting prepared to head back to work on Monday, but we're going to give you about 30 minutes of some of the sports headlines that went down this past week. Again, you know the house rules, though. Before we get into this thing, make sure you come in, like, subscribe to the channel. That is TFG Sports Media. Doesn't cost you a thing at all. Make sure you hit that subscription button as well as hit that notification bell just so you'll be alerted when new content, live streams like this is coming your way. Make sure you do that as well as subscribe to my other YouTube channel. That's Kendrick Sports Hustle. That's SporTZ, HUSTLE. Make sure you follow both of those platforms on Facebook, and then you can follow me on Instagram at Kendrick1969, as well as on TikTok, where I am live right now, Kendrick Henderson51. Again, I got people already to join the party over here on TikTok. I want to appreciate all that's popped in. I know Sunday, a lot of times people are trying to chillax, relax, get their feet ready for the next work week. But we gotta talk about sports. There's some stuff going on, and we got a couple of segments that we're gonna jump into as well. But first, again, one more thing on YouTube, if you don't mind, there's a little thank you and a little $ icon as well. If you would like to contribute to the platform, you're not obligated to, but it would definitely be appreciated because all that investment will be will go back into this platform to keep building it, as well as Kendrick Sports Hustle. So again, if you'd like to contribute, any donation will be accepted. So we're gonna wait and see if anybody's gonna pop in on YouTube and Facebook. I hadn't seen anybody yet, but that's cool. I see you, Belinda Hayes, over here on TikTok, Bling Aling 675 on TikTok. I want to thank you all for joining. Again, I am Kendrick, the sports guy. I do stuff with TFG Sports Media on YouTube and Facebook, as well as my own Kendrick Sports Hustle on YouTube and Facebook as well. So let's go ahead and jump into this first segment. We gotta start the show paying homage to one of the greatest baseball players to ever tie the laces, to ever run on a diamond, the late, great Willie Mays. The baseball world is definitely still mourning his loss. We lost Willie Mays on Tuesday at the age of 93. He died peacefully at home, surrounded by his loved ones. His son, Michael Mays, would release a statement and would say that his dad did pass away peacefully at home at the age of 93. What can you say about the Say Hey Kid, his nickname? If you don't know about Willie Mays, you read up on him. He was a center fielder that's arguably is the best center fielder to ever play the game, and arguably one of the 5 best players at any position to ever play this game. So I don't know. That's something that you have to you definitely have to sit back and recollect on all the things that he's done. I was reading an article today on Willie Mays that was written by a gentleman. I can't remember the website, but it was a very poignant article about just what impact Willie Mays had on the game of Major League Baseball. We all know about Jackie Robinson and him breaking a color barrier in 1947. That was definitely important. But then Willie Mays would come along 4 years later in 1951 and would take the game, or help take the game to the next level. Now, if you don't know, Mr. Mays debuted professionally May the 25th in 1948. He was only 17 years old. He played in the Negro Leagues, the Birmingham Black Barons, by the way, on Thursday. The St. Louis Cardinals and the San Francisco Giants played their game there at Rick Wood Field in Birmingham, Alabama, in honor of the Negro Leagues, as well as in honoring Willie Mays. And it was a sight to behold. Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson even did an interview that was definitely very poignant. If you haven't watched that Reggie Jackson interview, go Google it or YouTube it, and he just talked about his, not only about Willie Mays, but about his experience of playing in Birmingham, Alabama. Even though Reggie Jackson didn't play in the Negro Leagues, he played in the minor leagues in Birmingham and Alabama, and he talked about his experience there. But back to the late great Willie Mays. Again, the Say Hey Kid. What can you say about him? His stats speak. You can see there in the ticker. He hit 302. His batting average for his career. He played from 1951 to 1973, I believe. I'm getting something on my TikTok saying it can't hear me. I don't know why it can't hear me. But I hope I'm gonna keep going TikTok. Hopefully y'all can make sure, if y'all can hear me in TikTok, make sure you give me the thumbs up. I keep getting some sort of thing saying they can't hear me. But back to Willie Mays. He batted 302 over his lifetime career. He had 3,293 hits, two-time National League MVP, 660 home runs, 1,909 RBIs, 339 stolen bases, two-time National League MVP, World Series champ in 1954, 24-time All-Star, 12-time Gold Glove Award, and he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1979, and he was the first ballot Hall of Famer. He got 94.7% of those votes. So Willie Mays, he did it all. The catch, I know a lot of people probably think about Dwight Clark, the catch against the Cowboys, but the original the catch was Willie Mays making that catch in the World Series when he had his back to home plate and he caught it over his shoulder, and he was able to make that catch and turn around and make that hell of a throw as well. It's just we're losing a lot of our legends, man. Again, 93, what a wonderful life. Toward the end of his life, there was reports that he was blind. I was reading that today, but he had glaucoma, so his eyesight had started to fail him. But he wasn't, according to reports, Mr. Mays would say that he was blind, but he was still able to see a little bit. He was able to watch a lot of the baseball games so I don't know why I keep getting that, but I'm gonna keep going. TikTok. Hopefully y'all can hear me. If you can, just again, give me the thumbs up as well. So we're gonna continue to honor Willie Mays. The Giants are gonna be doing some special things for him, obviously, this season. That's probably gonna continue into the next season, and we're losing legends. I was just saying this on a segment I produced earlier last week. We lost Lakers legend Jerry West, almost 2 weeks ago. We lost, prior to him, we lost Hall of Fame center Bill Walton. Then we lost NBA legend Chet Walker last weekend, I believe, of the Bulls and of the 76ers. And now, Willie Mays, 2 days. Monday, he had put out an announcement that he wasn't going to be able to attend the Giants-Cardinals game in Alabama because he just couldn't. And then the following day, he passes away. Rest in power to the man they call the Say Hey Kid. He was the godfather. If you did not know, he was the godfather of Barry Bonds, the Hall of Fame. Well, not a Hall of Famer. He's still trying to get in. We'll see if Barry Bonds get in, but he's the all-time home run king. He was the godfather of Barry Bonds because Willie Mays played with his dad. He played with Barry's dad, Bobby Bonds, with the Giants. And they got a big statue of Willie Mays outside of the Giants Stadium. And he was San Francisco. When you think about San Francisco, a lot of times you think about the 49ers teams and the Joe Montanas and all the Jerry Rices and all those guys. But before they even came on the scene, it was Willie Mays. He was San Francisco. So to lose another legend like this, man, we got to give these men their flowers while they still here. Hall of Famer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said it poignantly. He said the same thing. Hopefully we gonna have Kareem around a little longer too, because he has some health issues as well. But Kareem gave his props and saluted Willie Mays, because he said that he was one of the athletes that he looked up to when it was time for him to start his career playing basketball. So, I mean, again, to say, hey, kid, what can you say? What's up, Brock Randolph? Thank you. Appreciate you popping in. Sad Willie Mays, he died. My heart is broken. You know what, Brock? I think that sums up a lot of people today. I think a lot of people are still, this one is a tough one. Thanks for joining, Kevin Ryder, Angus Hunt, all you all on TikTok. Appreciate it. This is going to be a tough one. Far as funeral arrangements, memorial plans, nothing has been announced yet. Nothing has been at least reported by the Giants nor the Mays family. But I'm sure there will be a public memorial for Willie Mays. Again, his career started with the Birmingham Black Barons in the Negro Leagues at 17 years old. Actually, at 15, he was playing a little bit professionally too as well. A lot of people don't know that. So Willie Mays was a Negro League player, and he was one of only a few of them surviving. Now I think it's only they're still living. Now I think it's only 3 of them now from the Negro Leagues that are still alive with the passing of Willie Mays. So again, Hall of Fame career. Again, I think arguably probably, I think he's in the top 5 when you talk about the best baseball players of all time. What can you say? Brock says, my favorite. He is baseball player. Okay, he is your favorite of all time. And you know what, Brock? that's one debate that I can't argue. I get it. Again, I say what I was just talking about. When you talk about the top 5, his name is definitely in the top 5, and then a lot of people's favorites too. So we just want to say rest in peace. Continue on your peaceful journey to say, hey, kid, Willie Mays, just the doors and the barriers that you open for black athletes, not only in baseball, but just in all other forms of sports, all other athletic sports. Definitely your piece of history, your part of history will never be forgotten, will always be remembered. And he was, all the reports and all the things that I've seen, he was just such a humble man and such a man that he just loved people. He just loved people. And he was just a talented baseball player. He was a football player too, from what I read too. Baseball was his thing. He stood 5'11", 185, but he could hit for power, he could run, he could steal bases, he could play defense. I mean, he was the typical all-around athlete, all-around baseball player. So again, we're saying salute to this king, Willie Mays. May you rest in peace. Now let's move on to our next segment. We move into track and field. Speaking of which, the Olympic trials, the U.S. Olympic trials started on Friday in Eugene, Oregon. I do have to give an update. We do know Dallas's own Sha'Carri Richardson will be heading to Paris. She won her 100-meter final on yesterday in a blistering time of 10.71. So we want to salute to Sha'Carri Richardson, and I'm going to talk more about her in my freestyle segment, but I wanted to just drop that in on you. But this Grand Slam Track League, this is something new. This is the brainchild of Olympic gold medalist Michael Johnson. All know him. He won the 200 meter and still holds the world record in that, and the 400 meters at the 1996 Atlanta Olympic Games. And he has been a big proponent of these track and field athletes getting more money, getting more opportunities to race. And he now has a track league that will debut next April in 2025 called Grand Slam Track. It will consist of one event in Los Angeles, which will somewhat coincide. The Olympics will be in LA in 2028, and then they will have another meet in another U.S. city, and then they will have 2 overseas. Now, the league has already signed Olympic medalist Sydney McLaughlin-Lavorgné. So that's one big name they already got under contract for this Grand Slam Track League. Now, the plan is, according to reports, according to Michael Johnson, is to sign 48 athletes, and they will be called Grand Slam racers. They will be signed to contracts, and they will use appearance fees to bring in another 48 athletes, and they all will compete for grand prizes. The top prize will be $100,000 in their event, with cash being awarded to those that place down to 8th place. So again, this is the brainchild of Dallas's own, straight out of Dallas Skyline High School, Michael Johnson. He's been talking about this for a while. He's talked about this on different circuits about, people want to see track and field. It's so tough because you only get it either in the odd years when you get the world championships, which those come in the odd years, or the even years every 4 years, and those are the Olympics. So and then that's really it. Then you got the Diamond League, which you have to catch, which, by the way, NBC will no longer air the Diamond League. So their contract, so we wouldn't even be able to watch it on NBC. I think some other website is not going to be airing the Diamond League. That's where these track athletes can go race and earn money, but they don't get a purse until the end of the season. But this Grand Slam track thing is going to be like 4 events. It sounds like a year, where these track athletes can make money. Steve Jackson, appreciate it. Thanks for popping in, everybody on TikTok. So this is a good brainchild. And again, I think I think as people that want to watch track and field, make sure you tap that screen too. Share this live on TikTok, over here on Facebook and YouTube as well. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, and share to your social media platforms. I think this is a good thing, because I think one of the things that track and field spectators miss and want to see more of, they want to see more of the top racers, the top sprinters going head to head in meets. A lot of times you don't get to see them until either the World Championships or the Olympics. And every now and then you might catch them in a meet, during the Diamond League circuits. But this right here, Michael Johnson is definitely going to be bringing these top. Hopefully, he can sign these top names to it. Now, the investment, you probably wonder, well, where's the money coming from? He has an investment from an investment group that he was able to get with, and they've already invested $30 million into this Grand Slam track league. So the money is there. Now they're looking for television contracts. What television network would jump on this? Hopefully, one of the majors would jump on this. We'll see. Because I think track and field is one of those sporting events that we love to watch. I know I do, especially the sprint. I love to watch the 100, 200, 400, the relays, and you definitely want to see that, because there's some top-notch sprinters out there. We don't get to see them only during Olympic years or odd years during the World Championships. Just like this year, we'll get to see them. Got Paris Olympics getting ready to start here, roughly a month. So we'll get to see some of the top-notch athletes go head-to-head. But this will give the opportunity for these track and field athletes to make more money too, because a lot of them, they'll make their money from sponsorships. That's where they get their money from sponsorships. If they're in the Diamond League, then they'll make their money that way, but they have to run a certain number of races, and then they can make a purse. But it's not that, $50,000 or something to that effect. Also, the Olympics are doing something. Some of the countries are doing something new this year, that they're going to pay their Olympic gold medalists, I think, $50,000. I can't remember certain countries that have put that in there, because if you did know, a lot of these athletes, they go to these Olympics, you think they get paid when they wearing these golds. Nah, a lot of the athletes weren't making any money. They were making their money off of sponsorships. That's how a lot of them make their money. So Michael Johnson, he's trying to make sure that his sports, that the sport that he was a champion in, that during his time he wasn't really making a whole lot of money either. That he want these up and coming athletes to have something that they can hang their hat on. So, salute to Michael Johnson. Look, again, if you don't know, he's straight out of Dallas, went to Dallas Skyline. He ran at Baylor, Olympic gold medalist at the 96 Olympics. He still holds the world record in the 200-meter dash, and he was a hell of a 400-meter runner as well. So we're going to keep you up to date on this. Again, Grand Slam track, it will debut in April of 2025. So we're going to move on to our next segment. Let's talk about Hard Knocks. We're going to the NFL. And Hard Knocks this year, the in-season Hard Knocks, We already know the in-season, the Hard Knocks training camp version, they will be focusing on the Chicago Bears. If you don't know, they're going to be focusing on them, because what? Because they got the number 1 pick, Caleb Williams. Makes sense. So that's going to be their focus, the Hard Knocks, HBO, NFL films. They will probably start filming because training camps for NFL teams normally start mid-July, late July. So NFL films, HBO, they all are getting ready to start filming here in a couple of weeks. And the first episode of that, the training camp, Hard Knocks of the Chicago Bears, that will air, I want to say, the second week of August. But let's talk about the Hard Knocks, the AFC North. This is the first time the in-season one, they're going to focus on a division. They've always focused on individual teams, which they started this, I want to say, like 2 years ago. But now they're going to focus on the AFC North, and that is cool because the AFC North division, if you didn't know, now you know, that's probably one of the toughest divisions in the NFL. And by the way, they made history last year. The AFC North was the first division in NFL history where all 4 teams finished with a winning record, with the Bengals being the only team that did not make the playoffs. Again, first time in NFL history. NFL, that division had all 4 teams finish with a winning record. What up, Craig? How you doing? Chi-Town, stand up. I hear you. The Bears, I heard that. Hey, you know, Craig, you know I got a bone to pick with you because you know I don't like them damn Bears. You know who I rock with. You already know. You know, you know I got a bone to pick with you. You know already. I say it's always a great day to be a Green Bay Packer fan. So you know I had to poke some fun at you. But again, yeah, you're right. The Bears will be the focus of the training camp version of HBO Hard Knocks, but the AFC North will be the focus of the in-season Hard Knocks, and it will debut on Tuesday, December 3rd. They will follow the final 6 weeks of the NFL season of this season, which will probably be going down to the wire because a lot of times when you look at the last 6 weeks of the season, a lot of times that's where you get a lot of the division games. A lot of times teams are jockeying for either trying to win a division or even get into a wild card position. So I get that. That makes sense. So what about all these 4 teams? What are they going to look like? Well, I think the one team that's going to look totally different will be the Pittsburgh Steelers. We all know that. They got 2 new quarterbacks. Russell Wilson, who's probably going to be the starter. Justin Fields, who the Bears, by the way, Craig, traded to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh shipped Kenny Pickett out. You know, they got some things they got to tie up. Oh, and by the way, their head coach Mike Tomlin just signed a contract extension last week as well. So I think he is the longest tenured. No, I think he's the second longest tenured head coach in the league now, behind John Harbaugh, his nemesis of the Ravens. It's either one of them. I think it might be Tomlin, but I think it's John Harbaugh who is the longest tenured NFL head coach at this point. So that team is going to look totally different. Craig says the field is mutual because y'all have been kicking my beloved Bears butts for years. Hey, I hear you, CT. And you know what? And I hope we keep on doing that. That is the plan, to keep on making y'all Bears feel like pups or cubs. I say that, feel like cubs. How about that? So the Steelers are going to be the one team that's going to look a whole lot different. Their quarterback position, again, they're bringing in a veteran. Defensively, I know they've added some pieces, but they had some issues a little bit, but they still got TJ Watt, pro linebacker, led the league in sacks last season. What can you say? But the Bears offensively, not Bears, I'm sorry, the Steelers offensively, what are they going to look like? Again, with Russell Wilson, is he, he only signed a 1-year deal, so they probably looking to make Justin Fields the future. So Russell Wilson, we're going to see how that offense works. So that team is going to be looking a little bit different. As far as the division champs, the Ravens, they're going to look a little different on offense, just a tad bit. Speaking of which, NFL MVP Lamar Jackson has lost a little weight. He said he wanted to lean up a little bit so he can add some more quickness. So Lamar Jackson is looking a little leaner. I saw some photos of him at their OTAs, and they got a new bruising running back too. Derrick Henry, who they signed. So offensively, they also lost Odell Beckham Jr., who signed with the Dolphins. But for the most part, the Ravens are going to pretty much look the same. They lost couple of pieces on defense, but they're going to be pretty much the same team, and they're going to probably be the division favorite at this point. They're the defending division champ. What about the Cincinnati Bengals? Can Joe Burrow stay healthy? Can he play a whole season? He had that wrist injury last season where he missed some time. They did sign T. Higgins to a contract extension with wide receiver, so he's going to be back in the fold. Now, what are they going to do with their Jamar Chase? Jamar Chase, he's looking to get paid, and we know this offseason, wide receivers have been getting paid. Justin Jefferson just reset the market for what wide receivers are going to make. So, would Jamar Chase be ready to come in training camp? Will he hold out? The Bengals, they pretty much going to look the same. But, they're going to be looking to see if they can keep their quarterback upright. They got to fix that offensive line, too, to see what they can do there. Cleveland Browns, that's the one team you really don't know. Deshaun Watson, his time there has been it's been I mean, he's been hurt half the time. He got that $230 million guaranteed contract, but he's been in and out the lineup, too. Amari Cooper, word is that he wants a new contract extension. Will he show up for training camp? He had a good season, great season for the Browns last year, even though they had a revolving door at quarterback because of Deshaun Watson injury. And defensively, I think they'll be okay. They got the plate handed to them in that wild card loss to the Texans, but they got Garrett Miles on defense. So long as they got him, I think they'd be okay. So this defense, this division is competitive from top to bottom. Again, last season, all four of the teams finished with a winning record. First time in NFL history. The Bengals was the only team that did not make the playoffs. So again, Hard Knocks in season. We'll focus on the AFC North. That will debut Tuesday, December 3rd, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can check that out. Again, they're going to focus on the final 6 weeks of the season. And there also is another Hard Knocks out of season or off season. I think that's going to air July 2nd. They are focusing on the Giants, where they're focusing on the off season. So they've already accumulated all their video and clips and stuff like that. So I think that debuts July 2nd. So NFL, they're really trying to take advantage of this behind-the-scenes Hard Knock stuff. When you talk about getting stuff of off-season of teams, getting stuff of in-season of teams, and getting training camp. I think that's a great marketing move. That's a great marketing tool. So, again, that's something to look forward to with Hard Knocks. So now let's get down to our last segment. I kind of talked about this earlier in the Grand Slam track segment, but first of all, before I get to that, I want to thank everybody that's been watching. Craig, I want to thank you for watching and always checking in. Appreciate your support, appreciate the love. I want to thank everybody on TikTok that has been watching as well, that's joined. Tap that screen, share this live if you haven't. Click that follow button as well. Those over here on YouTube, if you watch this later, make sure you share this, like this, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. If you like to contribute to the channel, it'll be cool. You can hit that little thank you button or the little dollar sign. You can contribute to that as well. Craig says, is Hard Knocks like 30 for 30? Nah, it's more like it's just giving you behind the scenes of what's going on, Craig. 30 for 30 is more of documentary style, whereas Hard Knocks is giving you what's happening now. That's the big difference. So, yeah, Hard Knocks is giving you the behind-the-scenes stuff that you wouldn't see. Like in training camp, you're seeing players getting cut or getting up and close and personal with different players, that type of thing. So that's the big difference between 30 for 30 and Hard Knocks. They're giving it to you behind the scenes, getting stuff that's happening now, whereas 30 for 30 is really just kind of giving you a documentary on what has already happened, that kind of thing. So, again, my freestyle moment, I got to talk about Sha'Carri Richardson, and I don't want to call it a redemption because that makes it seem like she failed. And some people will say that she failed early on. There were a lot of critics of this young lady because of some of the antics, some of the things that happened. Obviously, we already know. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. We all know that she missed the Tokyo Olympics because she failed the drug test. We all know that. Then she tried to come back at the World Championships and she came in 7th place and all that. But my thing about this young lady is her resolve and showing that you're not your past. And just this past weekend, just on yesterday, Sha'Carri Richardson ran a 10.71 to qualify for the Paris Olympics. And she won, and that's the fastest time in the world thus far, 10.71. And if you notice how she's been carrying herself, she's not really been in the media a whole lot. She had one little dust up, I remember, that happened about a year ago. I think something happened on the airplane. But outside of that, she's been very low-key in her social media. And I think that and I said this from the beginning, when all that stuff was going on with her, I said all she needed is someone, the right person, the right publicist, the right person in her corner to get this thing turned around. And look at where she is now. You know, people going to always look at your past. You know, again, she was 21, 20 years old. Again, she was, she needed time to get it. And I think she's getting it. And her performance speaks for itself. She won world championships last year in dominant fashion. And I think a lot of people that was quick to call her ghetto, quick to call her this and that, I think sometimes we give up on people so easily. We give up on people quick. We especially sports. We quick to judge these athletes off of a couple of missteps, But there is a way that people can redeem themselves, And I just want to give her shine. Craig says, I love Sha'Carri. I'm proud of her. This is all most people really wanted for her because we knew that she had what it takes to win. And I agree, Craig, but I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those that was being very critical of this young lady during that time. I wasn't. I said some things that I think she needed to fix, but I was still rooting for her. I wasn't going on and calling her ghetto and saying that she was horrible and this and that. I wasn't saying that. I just said that this young lady, she just needed the right people in her corner. She just needed some direction. Don't all 20, 21-year-olds need direction? Hell, a lot of 50, 51-year-olds need direction. Hell, but basically don't, especially when you in the limelight like that, considering where she came from. So I just want to give a shout out to Sha'Carri, man, because I believed in her from the jump. I wasn't happy about some of the antics. I wasn't. But all I knew was that she just needed to get a little maturity under her belt, get the right people in her corner, and I said she is going to be all right. And here we are right now, Sha'Carri Richardson getting ready to prepare to head to Paris to represent the U.S. in 100 meters. Hopefully she can bring back the gold. She's also going to run the 200 meters at the Olympic trials, see if she can qualify for that as well. And again, shout out to Sha'Carri Richardson. So again, that was my freestyle moment for today. Again, I am Kendrick, the sports guy with TFG Sports Media. I want to thank my good brother Craig for popping in. I want to thank all those that dropped in on TikTok to check me out over there. Make sure you share this live, tap that screen, show me some love. Also, you can join me here. You can catch me here every Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. Again, the Chicago Sky, I forgot, and the Indiana Fever are playing right now. I was looking at it. I forgot what the halftime score. It was tight. It was a pretty good game, too. So if you want to check that out, they're playing on ESPN. You can catch the tail end of that. Again, you can catch me here again every Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m., giving you the latest on the hot sports stories that happen in the week. So again, I am Kendrick, the sports guy. I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday. I hope you have a great start to your work week. And as always, it's always a great day, Craig, to be a Green Bay Packer fan. Again, I'm Kendrick, the sports guy. I'm out. We will see you. Kendrick, the sports guy. I hope that's what I said. I believe that's what I said, not the other one. That's a blooper. Somebody cut that. Yeah, cut that out. Anyway, you guys have a great rest of your day and a great week. We will see you on the other side. I'm out. Peace.